Alright, let's get straight into it. We're going to walk through a playbook designed to fix a really frustrating problem. What happens when your clinically proven brand just gets lost in the shuffle? This is all about how we restore a trusted antibiotic to its rightful place, making it a conscious, deliberate choice once again. So let's start with the big question, the one that is probably giving you sleepless nights. Your brand, let's call it Brand UMI, is backed by solid science. It is endorsed by clinical guidelines. It has got a great safety profile. So why is it being ignored? Why are doctors not choosing it? That is the core problem we are going to unpack. You see, this problem actually has a name, and understanding it is the first crucial step. This is not some sudden collapse in sales. It is much more subtle. It's a slow, silent drift away from your brand happening right at that critical moment of prescription. We call this treatment choice drift. And here is what is key. It is not about new negative clinical data. It is a systemic behavioral shift. It means prescribers are moving away from your brand gradually, almost unconsciously, more out of habit and routine than actual clinical evidence. This right here shows you that gap perfectly. On one side, you've got major authorities, the Indian Academy of Pediatrics, the WHO. They all recommend your molecule. But on the other side, you have real-world practice where doctors are just defaulting to broader spectrum antibiotics. That is the drift in action. And this is a really important distinction to make. Your brand is not being actively rejected for clinical reasons. It is not like doctors are saying, no, not that one. It is just not top of mind anymore. It has been mentally deprioritized in their go-to list of options. Okay, so we know what the drift is, but how does it really hurt the brand? In this next part, we are going to get super specific. We are going to pinpoint the one decisive moment, the single point in time where the battle for your brand is either won or lost. So before a doctor even starts comparing clinical options, your brand is already facing three huge headwinds. First, there is escalation bias, this tendency to favor stronger antibiotics just in case. Then you have category education, which ironically often ends up boosting the bigger, broader brands more. And finally, hierarchical perception, where your brand is mentally filed away as a lower tier option even when it is the perfect fit. Now look at this map of the prescriber's journey. They go from uncertainty to selection. But I want you to zoom in on moment 2, empiric therapy selection. This is it. This is the decisive point. It is where that initial therapy is chosen. If your brand does not get picked right here, well, it is pretty much out of the game for that patient. And what that means is your entire strategy, all your messaging, all your resources, they have to be laser focused on this single moment. The opportunity to reverse the drift and win back those prescriptions, it exists right here in influencing that initial choice. Everything else is secondary. So we have defined the problem. We've pinpointed the exact battleground. Now let us talk about solutions. This is not about just trying harder with the same old message. This is a smart, targeted comeback playbook. And the solution is actually a pretty elegant 3-step framework, yaar. We are gonna re-anchor, then reframe, and finally reinstate. It is a simple, logical progression designed to systematically reverse that treatment choice drift right where it happens, inside the clinic. Step 1. Re-anchor. Now, this is not about reminding doctors of your brand's history. No, this is about connecting it to current clinical reasoning. We are going to leverage those powerful existing endorsements from groups like the Indian Academy of Pediatrics to re-establish its legitimacy for today's practice. Next up, we reframe the perception. Brand UMI is not an old or legacy antibiotic anymore. From now on, it is a stewardship-aligned, spectrum-conscious choice. That pivot in language is absolutely critical. We are moving it from being seen as dated to being seen as the smart, appropriate option for today's medical challenges. And finally, we reinstate. This is all about making the choice practical and easy. We do this by using clear case-based logic for common scenarios. We show doctors exactly when and why Brand UMI is the right call, turning it back into a deliberate, confident clinical decision, not just a forgotten fallback. Now for the best part. This is not just a bunch of theory. This playbook comes with a very clear, actionable blueprint for how to execute. So let us look at how we make all of this real out in the field. Here are the tools we are going to use to make it happen. You will run in-clinic academic sessions to re-anchor the clinical logic. You'll publish case studies to normalize its everyday use. And you'll provide simple visual guideline maps that work as a rapid reference tool. See? Each tool is specifically designed to drive one part of the solution forward. And of course, we have to measure our success. And this is not just about looking at overall sales volume. No, we'll track engagement with the new logic. How many doctors are participating? We'll track the growth in new prescribers, and critically, we will track the shift in the indication mix, which will prove that Brand UMI is being restored as a first-line choice in the right cases. So let us end on this powerful thought. In today's world, especially with the focus on antibiotic stewardship, the whole game has changed. Winning is no longer about being the biggest, broadest spectrum antibiotic. Winning is about being the most appropriate choice, the smartest choice. The only question left is, are you ready to reclaim that position?